Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Frankie B, and man, it has been an amazing week. I know it's been a minute since I've done video, excuse me. Just because I've been working on Kajus and Cowboys issue 1, and I wrapped up the coloring this week, sent the pages off to Matthew and stuff, and so that they can get lettered. But also I had to do a cover as well, and so I'm just so happy. I'm just on a high just to get that first. It's like literally the first milestone marker on this journey that's going to take me through 11 more issues. So anyway, I'm just so happy from that high. But I'm now going back to a commission that I got a couple of weeks ago from the G-Man, who's been an amazing client. This guy, he loves my work, and I'm so honored that he does. I did a 9 by 12, was it 9 by 12 piece before? I believe it was Devastator and Defensor, and it was black and white with gray tones. So in the same vein, this is what I'm doing right now. Now this piece right here, which I started back in August 28th, it's a 9 by 12, and it's featuring the legendary King Ghidorah battling Kajus and Cowboys on BWNN, which is the bot with no name, a hunter bot. And so when I was thinking about this whole concept, because he was like, oh, I love the character, I love the design and stuff like that, I said, how can I do this in a way in which I can showcase, the size comparison? So in my mind, I was going back and forth, and I just said, okay, look, I'm going to treat this like a comic book page. So I'm thinking of this more in the context of a double page spread, and and this could be an inset. And then technically you think of like Ant-Man punching a guy. So you want to get a sense of, we want to be able to see Ant-Man, but then also we want to give the impact of the size comparison. So in the size comparison, you have this small little image right here where the impact hit, but then you blow out the scene, and right here you have the bot with no name, and he's doing like this massive kick, onto the face of Ghidorah's middle head, and he wanted devastation, a lot of devastation. I drew two jet planes in there, just to show a sense of comparison, size comparison, and that's just utter chaos. When they did the legendary Ghidorah, which is amazing and I love, they just sort of created this character who is almost like a massive storm. He's literally coming in and just wiping out everything, and so I just followed that context. Now, the way Kajus and Cowboys is done, as I've said many times, I'm a huge fan of the Shogun Warriors. I'm a kid of the 70s and 80s. I grew up with that kind of art style. So, strong primary colors and really powerful scenes of action, and just, you have I tend to put my own, what is it called? I call them the special sound effects. My own sound effects type in, so I'll put in pow and stuff like that. I love that stuff, and it seems like there's other people who kind of like that. It's almost like a mixture, a fusion of, of that love of the 70s and 80s. But now I'm using a lot of technology today. Again, I'm using, like for the comic book Kajus and Cowboys, I'm actually using Zippertone in a Photoshop. Which is interesting. It's consistent. I do have some sheets of Zippertone, but Zippertone takes a lot of time to lay down. And again, this is about time and making sure that I can get the book done, as well as work on other projects like this. Because again, even as I'm working on my comic book stuff, I have other projects. Like I have this commission, and I just got in the, let's see, it's a beautiful case. I'm working on the Ultraman Series 2 card set, doing some cards for that. And so, there's always projects that are coming across my art table, and I have to be able, as a commercial illustrator, as a pro artist, to be able to maintain a balance so that, yes, I get the comic book done, which is important, but also to maintain the fact that, yes, I have other different things, commissions and other things as well. And so that's something that you got to be able to finagle. And I've done it now officially like over 30 years. And so I've learned how to be able to balance that, to find a way where you don't lose your mind and get so caught up in the whole psychological turmoil of like, oh my God, I'm getting too much stuff. Oh my God, deadlines. And your mind is, no. I'm so past that. I know how to manage my time and to make sure that everything gets out. to people in a reasonable time, especially with my commissions. And I always continue my communications, which is so important. You have to maintain communication. I try to tell any up and coming artists out there, even for writers also, just any artisan out there, that if you are entering into the business of working for someone and doing an assignment, that means commissions or whatever, then you have to be mindful of deadlines and be respectful of that, because the faster that you're able to get that work to that person, that means that ensures that you may possibly get more future work from that person, or better yet, they will give you they'll just say, hey, look, this person's phenomenal, they communicate well, I got the work in a reasonable time, so you need to hire this person, you need to get this person to do stuff for you. The greatest strength for any person out there as a freelancer, and this is overall as a freelancer, that you need the strength of your reputation to be bolstered. You need to grow that. That means you need to have your work and the stuff that you do has to be solid enough so that people look at it and say, okay, I want to work with this person. You want that. You don't want the other side of it where people are saying that, look, I'm not getting the work. This person is slow. They don't communicate with me. I send emails to them. I'm not getting anything. It's been almost 2 years. Hell, even a year. Hell, even 6 months. It's been 6 months and I haven't heard anything or I haven't seen anything or whatever. You don't want to have a kind of a lifestyle of excuses, what I call a lifestyle of excuse, because that will not aid you in your growth working in this kind of field. So with that rant done, it's time for me to get to work. All right. So I got all the tools out. And oh yeah, let me just also add, as always, this is going to be a mashup video. So this is me just doing my talking. I know I'm doing a lot of hand gesture. I'm actually standing up and stuff right now. Well, here, I'll just give you a quick little thing. I just had I've been celebrating for over like 2 weeks and stuff. I had my birthday, and then also we had our 2-year anniversary to being married, wedding anniversary, but also it coincides with our 8-year anniversary for just being together, me and Jess. So there was a lot of partying going on, and I really, really partied hard. So now this week was what we call the detox week, where we technically are getting back to working out and stuff. And so working out is like, again, we just changed our eating and we've been doing our calories and stuff like that. But also we're getting back to running, jogging. And so we've been doing it. We've been slamming it for like 2 miles. We've been doing 2 miles a day and stuff like that. And that's been pretty good. This morning we tried to do it and we got rained out. It wasn't a bad rain. It was. Actually, let me rephrase it. If it was just a sprinkle, I think it would have been good because it was nice and warm. It's kind of humid right now, but it was kind of nice and warm. And I was like, oh, yeah, I can do this. And I was all like, but then the downpour came and I was like, oh, man. So we ran a little bit. We got a little over half a mile. And I was like, oh, but that's okay. We said, okay, well, tomorrow we'll just have to make it up and stuff. And that's how we're thinking. But we're definitely feeling it. And it's good. It's good to get back on that schedule working out, because as much as I enjoy partying a little bit, I just don't have it like I used to when I was younger. I just don't, and I'm glad I don't. I'm 51 years old. I like the fact that now I'm in that stage of maturing, and my level of enjoyment now is it's at a point where I don't know, I feel like I'm enjoying it a lot better. I respect it more. I'm not down on, praising the porcelain god, my face first into a toilet and feeling like in pain and agony. And none of that stuff. I just know that now I enjoy it. And I get, and I get a little sluggish after it. But now it's like, okay, now I can get back to my routine of working out and maintaining a good sleep cycle and then doing work like this. So anyway, this is a mashup video. I would like to thank you all for coming again and listening to the rants of a mad artist. Am I a mad artist? Mad, not in like angry mad, but just like the stuff I talk about. It's just insanity, but it's good insanity. Why don't we say that? Good insanity. I'm just glad that you're watching this. And then, I'll do my little talk. I'm kicking on the 10-minute mark right now. So what I'm going to do is I'll transition over to the hyperlapse. I'll give it like maybe 5 more minutes, and then I'll get up and then I'll switch it over to the hyperlapse. But anyway, I'm just glad you're here, and all right, let's get working on this. Oh, Now, usually for a long time, I'm pulling out my Copic Multiliners. I got a bunch of these as gifts, which I love. These are great pens. And I got a couple of different head sizes. So usually when I do my lines, even comic book pages lines and stuff like that, I like to hand do them. Just because I love that, just that rawness. I got that from looking at a lot of French, like Mobius and stuff like that, French comics, where it just really impressed me, just the fact of, that the panel itself is also part of the art, and that I'm not trying to do these hard lines and stuff just to be like, okay, I'm capturing the art inside this hard panel. That's just my personal feelings about it. But in some occasions when I'm dealing with stuff like this, I want to make sure that the lines are nice clean lines. So I'm going to use my straight edge or ruler to just give it a nice straight line. I'm using a 0.8, which is a nice little thickness to it. For scenes like this, you want to kind of pop it out. And I like to just tell you that I did a rough sketch before I actually got to this point, which is important. I want to make sure that the client, the G-man, that he would be able to see stuff and that it was okay, that it was something that that he would like, and that get him excited and stuff. And that's important too. You want to be able to talk with clients and make sure that they feel like they're getting something that's worth it. I know I also collect art as well, and I know that feeling of like, if you dig in your pocket and you're spending your hard-earned money to have something, you at least want something that you can go, man, I'm so glad that I spent X amount of dollars to get this, because this person really put their energy into it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna break the frame just a little bit, so it's a little uneven, a little bit, because I was gonna have it cropped at first, but hey, that's the fun part of doing this. It's just inside the registration mark lines. And the reason why I do registration marks is, again, if the person decides to, I might cut it off though. Depends on how they want to frame it. I mean, they could frame it, but or they can keep the registration marks. Maybe they'll like to just have that little extra in there. To me, as a person who collects artwork, I tend to not touch anything. I like the fact that artwork that looks all like, that it's been worked on and stuff. So, just hoping that, I don't think G-Man will mind. I'm sure he'll comment. He watches my videos and I'm so honored. He's a good soul, man. He's definitely somebody who is a fan of original artwork, a fan of comic books, and just a bunch of different things. And he definitely expresses it. And I tell you, man, it's individuals like himself that have really re-energized my love in the just in the overall medium. That's really gotten me jazzed to even do comic book stuff, Because for years I was working in advertising, and I could have been still working, just doing advertising, and still kind of like that on the fringe of just like, oh man, I want to do comics. But so it's individuals like him who really that really helped to fortify that what I'm doing, and I really do appreciate that. I'm really honored by that. All right, so there you go. Just hand did that, and yeah, looks good. So let's see where we at. I'm just gonna look at this marker because I don't want to do too much talking. So we have 13. Now the bot with no name. We watched the other day. We watched Pale Rider, one of the best, like one of Clint Eastwood's greatest movies. And it was so funny because for the longest time I always assumed that he was the man with no name, and I still do. This part of me still does. They said actually that the movie was a remake of this other movie called Shane, classic western, in which maybe I'll have to do a search for it and maybe watch it just to see. But I still want to, there's a part of me that wants to. I still believe that he's actually the man with no name. That was technically his Dark Knight Returns kind of film for that character. So that's just my own personal feeling on it. But it was just tremendous. Like watching it again, just reaffirmed like my feeling on the bot with no name, because the character is based off of, like, my first thought was Clint Eastwood's character, But also, I started thinking of other characters. Like I love Jet Jaguar, and I was like, man, I love the way Jet Jaguar looks, his face, that creepiness of it. You know, it looks like he's smiling at you while he's, you know, kicking the crap out of you. And I've always loved that. That goes right back to Captain Marvel, Shazam. You know, I've always liked something about that. I just thought it was like, man, you got this person powerful enough to like rip your arms off and whatever, and they're just smiling at you. It's just eerie, man. But yeah, watching it again, it just really reaffirmed certain aspects about this character, and that what I want to try to add to it visually, and then I know that Matthew's gonna just, you know, he's killing it. You know, my job as I sit there and draw is that I'm growing off of what he's writing. But then what's the funny, like the way we work is that I'll do my thumbnails and stuff after I looked at the script, and then, you know, he'll sort of write kind of loosely, and then he'll get what I'm doing, and then, you know, it'll force him, it'll force his own creativity to spark up, and then he'll come in with dialogue. So I don't know, I feel like it's almost close to what Stan Lee was doing with Jack Kirby, you know, sort of in a Jack Kirby kind of way. Jack Kirby, I mean Stan Lee and Kirby kind of way, where we're sort of bouncing off each other to try to create something that can be really interesting and exciting for the reader. Oh, there you go. I'm actually using a 003, which is really great for this kind of stuff. This is it's a micron. This is the micron that I usually use for if I'm using for sketch cards to really get into detail and stuff like that. It's really tiny. Yeah, it's pretty cool that I'm gonna be right back into the mix with Ultraman. I think that's gonna be for next year, which is great. But like I said before, you know, I don't want to overly rant, but it is important that you respect the deadlines. You know, it only bolsters up your you know, your reputation. And trust me, that's all we artists or creative folks have, is our reputation, our rep. You know, people talk, and you want people to be saying positive things about your work ethic. And even you as a person too, in a certain degree, but you know, but if your work ethic is really good, then, you know, people will respect that. They'll be like, oh, you know, regardless of what, this person, they're really on point. You know, I know that I can send stuff to them and it gets done. And that's the key thing. But anyway, all right, I'm going to switch over to hyperlapse now. And once more, I just want to thank you again for coming and watching my videos, all of them. Hopefully you've got a chance to check them out. There's a lot. a lot of various ones, a little bit ranting here and there, but anyway, I am just honored that you took the time, and I'm glad to be doing some videos again, shifting up. It always feels good to shift a little bit. It's like coming off of just coloring, like, you know, a cover and 22 pages. Now I'm back to drawing, and it feels really good now. Working those hands. But with that said, as always, keep that art flowing. Peace.